Today I'm going to make Beijinho de Côco, which is a traditional Brazilian dessert. They're served mostly at birthday parties, and they're called little Brazilian kisses. And it's quite easy to make. So you want to start with 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk, 2 tablespoons of butter, and I use unsalted butter. And then you want to use 1.5 cups of shredded unsweetened coconut. And if you can get the fresh coconut, all the better. But don't get the sweetened coconut because it's just too sweet. And then white granulated sugar for the topping after the fact. And I keep vanilla beans in my sugar, so it's going to have a light vanilla taste to it. And then these small little paper cups, and that's what will put the little kisses in the balls in these paper cups. Next step is to combine all of the ingredients and then cook it on medium heat, stirring constantly. Here you can see I have my heat on medium and I'm stirring constantly because I don't want it to scorch, and I'm going to wait until it gets pretty thick. It's getting there already. I happen to have made a double batch, so don't be discouraged if it looks like I have a lot more than you do. And I also added more coconut to mine because I'm going to make a different recipe out of it later. Feel free to set aside some of the coconut from the recipe if you want to roll it in coconut instead of sugar at the end. It's still pretty runny. I'd say it has about the consistency of rice pudding right now. I just love Beijinho de Côco, and I'm excited about this recipe. You can see that it's melting together just fine, but we're still at a pretty runny stage. And as soon as I can cut through the middle of the mixture and it stays kind of balled up itself, then I'll know I'm ready. But I'd say we're about halfway there. It's important to keep stirring because you've got dairy in here and you don't want it to scorch, which it will do quite easily. So just keep stirring. When it starts to thicken up, it happens fast, and you can see we're really getting close. And now that it's getting really hot, it's important to keep stirring vigorously so that we don't burn anything. And it's getting pretty close. Okay, we're there, and it's turned a buttery yellow color, and the volume has decreased significantly, and it's now pulling away from the bottom, and it's ready to transfer. Now I'm going to transfer it so that it can cool, and I'm just putting it on this sheet that I have sprayed. And let's see how wildly unsuccessful this might be with one hand. Don't laugh. Okay, that is super slow motion. I'm not even kidding. Okay, so just transfer it to another pan once you've taken it off of heat, and then spread it out so that it can cool down. And then when you come back and it's cool, it'll be easier to work with. So you can just let it sit out for a while, or I happen to throw it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes so that it can cool down. Once the mixture's had a chance to cool so that it's cool enough that you can roll it with your hands, go ahead and set it out of the refrigerator. Get yourself ready with a spoon and the granulated sugar that you're going to use to top it, or the coconut that you've used, and then a little bit of butter for your hands. And let's see if I can show you one here. So I'm just going to butter my hands so that it's easier to work with. And then I'm going to spoon a little bit out, about 1 spoonful, and then roll it with my hands. And as soon as I've gotten into a ball shape, I'm going to drop it into the sugar. Then I'm going to cover it with the sugar mixture. And and then it's ready, and I'll drop it into the paper cups. And here's the finished product. Beijinho de Côco, little kisses. And if you're a traditionalist, you would go ahead and put a clove on each one of the kisses, and then that will infuse a little bit of extra flavor, especially if you're going to serve it the next day. But like I said, I'm going to use this for a different recipe, so I'm not going to put cloves on mine.